After I spent $8,000 on my own money on small gun safes, I tested the biometrics, I found deadly design flaws, I tested long-term reliability, and a couple of safes broke all by themselves. And then I Pry tested over 10 small gun safes to see just how tough they really are. And with all that, these are my top gun safe picks. This is the Vline Hideway safe. Main features: the Hideway safe is the perfect under desk safe, as you can see here. It features the best quick access lock, and that is the simplex push button lock. This is my top choice for 100% reliable quick access. And with the pull out shelf, you can easily store 2 handguns, as you can see here. And now onto my pry rating. Vline safes are well designed and make for a hard to pry open safe. And for my destructive pry test of 10 safes in this small safe category, I give the Vline Hideway safe a 5 out of 5 pry rating. Now my quick access rating. The simplex combo lock is not cheap all by itself, as you can see here. With no batteries or electronics to worry about, just a proven mechanical lock that's going to work 100% when you need it to. The Vline safe gets a 5 out of 5 quick access rating. Final thought: the safe is made in the USA. If your life is on the line, this is the brand you want. This is the Secured 40 gun locker. Main features: if you want a reliable gun locker that will last more than a few years, then the Secured 40 is the one for the job. I've had my Secured locker for over 3 years and have never had one issue. And if you also need a portable gun locker for your vehicle, the Secured has pre-drilled holes for permanent mounting and comes in at just 33 pounds. And now onto my pry rating. The Secured 40 has one locking latch and 2 smaller bolts at either end of the door, as you can see here. The Secured gets a 3.5 out of 5 pry rating. Now my quick access rating. The simple electronic keypad works great and have not had any battery drain issues with the Secured locker. There is a barrel key for the mechanical lock, not the best, but this is a light duty locker. The Secured gets a 5 out of 5 quick access rating. Final thought: this is a quality made locker. This is one that I wouldn't be surprised working in 10 years. This is Fort Knox push button shotgun safe. Main features: Fort Knox are my go-to safe if my life is on the line. The simplex push button combo lock is not cheap all by itself, as you can see here. But when you combine that with a 12 gauge steel body and a massive steel bolt, you have a tank for security. And as always with simplex locks, no batteries or electronics to worry about. And now onto my pry rating. I've tried to pry into my Fort Knox PB1. The design alone is preventing any pry points. I would need an angle grinder for any hope to enter this safe. I base my tier rating systems on how Fort Knox safes are made and designed. The safe gets a 5 out of 5 pry rating. Now my quick access rating. If my life is on the line and you have to lock your defensive shotgun in a safe, the simplex push button lock is the lock you want for reliable quick access. Out of all the safes I tested, Fort Knox is my personal bedside safe. The simplex push button lock is fast and easy to use and just going to work. Fort Knox gets a 5 out of 5 quick access rating. Final thought: Fort Knox also make great vehicle safes. Neither extreme cold or heat will affect the safe, as there are no electronics or batteries to worry about. This is Viking Security's push button safe. Main features: no keys, no batteries to worry about, and the best mechanical push button lock for reliable quick access. This simplex lock is not cheap all by itself, as you can see here. With Viking, you also get interior LED light and a gas assisted strut to help lift and lower that heavy steel lid. The Viking safe comes with a quick securement steel cable, but also has 4 pre-drilled holes for permanent placement. And now onto my pry rating. The Viking safe is built tough with a 5mm steel door. As you can see here with my Fort Knox, they share a similar design, making them pretty much pry proof in my testing. And even if I could get a bite from my pry tools, you still have a 40mm deadbolt to contend with. This is a 23-pound tank of a small safe. The Viking safe gets a 5 out of 5 pry rating. Now onto my quick access rating. The simplex locks are easy to reprogram and even easier to use. This is the lock I use for my personal quick access gun safe. This push button lock simply can't be beat. The Viking safe gets a 5 out of 5 quick access rating. Final thought: I spent over $8,000 on small gun safes. And what did I learn? Just buy a Viking safe. I could have saved a lot of money. This is the Hornady Rapid AR Gun Locker. Main features: 16 gauge steel construction with 4 hardened steel locking latches, and comes with a security cable for on-the-go securement. 3 ways of entry: RFID card, number pad, or mechanical key. The safe can be powered by battery or permanent AC outlet, and there are pre-drilled mounting holes for permanent horizontal or vertical mounting. You can choose between a 2 or 3 rifle locker. This locker is perfect for most ARs or AKs, as you can see here. And now onto my pry rating. The AR locker features 4 hardened steel latches with 16 gauge steel construction and comes in at 53 pounds. It would not be a fun day for a pry attack. The Hornady gets a 4 out of 5 pry rating. Now my quick access rating. I have owned my own AR gun locker for over 3 years. I have not had any issues with it. Now the biggest problem is the barrel key lock. You can pick this lock with a very specific type of marker or use an auto tool. If that is a problem for you, you can easily replace the lock, as I did with my AR gun locker. When it comes to the electronics, the RFID cards and electronic number pad, they have all worked reliably. The Hornady gets a 4 out of 5 quick access rating. Final thought: in real life, I'm more worried about low skill pry attacks. I test to make sure you can get your weapon out reliably, and lock picking is mostly for perverts. How I rate stuff. I know it looks like I rate everything highly, but I really did spend $8,000 on these small safes, all put on my credit cards, and then I get no views on YouTube. Alright, enough about my suffering, so let's start with the curious case of the Bill Conch. This locker would lock down in place with your right hand, as you can see here, but with only one small tap in the middle of the lid, it would open all by itself. I even thought it might have been possessed by Satan, but that actually turned out not to be the case. You have to press down in the middle of the lid to lock the lid down, as there are 2 locking latches with this locker. And trust me, that's one deadly design. Now onto the Pry Test. The build conch was tougher than I thought it would be with this sheet metal build. And as you can see here, the 2 locking latches broke off into the body, but they did detach from the sheet metal lid. The build conch got a 2.5 out of 5 pry rating. Now here is the RPMB lockbox, with only one tiny locking latch, as you can see here. By the way, if you ever see this tiny locking latch design, it's probably not going to be a tough locker. Anyway, here is the full Pry Test. And there you go, 8 seconds to pry open. The RPMB got a 1 out of 5 pry rating. This list is not in order because I wanted to show this Sifley lockbox, as it has a similar latch design as the RPMB. It was a little tougher and took 1 minute and 8 seconds with stage 1 pry tools. The Sifley got a 2 out of 5 pry rating. And here is the RPMB single pistol locker. Side note, this locker would drain its batteries as it sat. This is not good and was the only locker to have battery drain issues. And here is the full Pry Test. And that's another 1 out of 5 pry rating for RPMB. Let's move up half a rating from the RPMB with the Onias. The Onias looks just like the Ananus. I'm just gonna call it the Anus from now on. They do look the same, but they are not 100% the same. And here is the Anus test, starting with stage 1. So let's see how fast we get in here. The anus just popped open in 13 seconds with stage 1 pry tools. And here is the Onias test. So that one took 35 seconds and actually bent the lid. The Onias earned a 1.5 out of 5 pry rating. And here is the only cheap brand that stood out, even though it was recalled for its biometrics. But I do believe Allsafe has fixed the biometric issues as of now. I really thought I was going to get in fast and easy with this under $100 safe, but as you can see here, it does have a nice size single locking latch. And to my surprise, took 3 minutes and 82 seconds with level 3 pry tools. And so there is my 3 out of 5 pry rating. Now we move to a stage 4 rating, the Sentry Safe. You will need to go to my channel and find the full test, because it took 23 minutes and 47 seconds with stage 3 pry tools. That was not fun or easy, trust me. So what is a stage 5 rating? Pretty much means pry attacks aren't going to work. Here is my Fort Knox PB1. The design alone prevents any possibility to pry into, as you can see here. Stage 5 is pretty much angle grinder territory. And there you go, my 1 out of 5 pry rating system. Until next time, see you then.